All right, everyone. So today we're going to talk about Phil Heath versus William Bonac. A lot of people have been talking about it. Who's going to win the Mr. Olympia 2018? Let's say Ramy doesn't exist for a moment. Who's better? So because of William Bonac's win. So a lot of the journalists, Dennis James, bodybuilding figures, Dennis James, Louis Marco have been talking about it. Pretty impressive, most muscular there from Dennis James, if I may say that. Not bad from Louis Marco, considering he's natural. And Dave Palumbo here, pretty impressive one as well. They've all been talking about it, so let's get right into it. Firstly, the front double bicep now. The legs, let's start with the legs of Phil Heath, are fantastic. Not the biggest ever, but they definitely have that separation in the quads. And the calves are also in place. The gut's not very loyal, obviously. And I'm speaking here from my opinion, by the way, not from what the judges will say. But this pose, he simply cannot open up his shoulders. Louis Marco's spoken about it before. He's not flexible enough, and he doesn't practice enough, maybe. So not the best pose for him, despite his ability and muscle. Here's William Bonac. A bit better, because even though he's also not got the best front double bicep, I mean, if you compare it to Cedric McMillan or Kai Green, it's absolutely not that impressive, just because he's short and he's not very aesthetic. But it is still very good. And chest is not as thick as Phil's, but then again, you got those striations in his quads that Phil doesn't have. So I think they're both not the best, but I'm going to give this to William. Front lat spread. This one, again, it's similar. He's got crazy. Look at that chest. It's crazy thickness there. The shoulders are there, but again, this is, the lats are quite important in this pose, and he simply can't pull them out. He can't, whether it's flexible, lack of width, I don't know, but he just can't do it. He's not got that. I mean, Big Ramy absolutely smokes him in this pose because of those wide lats he has, and that gut is obviously unpleasant to look at. Here we go with William Bonac's front lat spread. Again, he's not the widest guy ever. His arms are quite big, so they kind of dominate, similar to Phil in this pose. Again, his quads are magnificent. I actually prefer his quads over Phil's. They're very aesthetically pleasing, but it's just he can't pull them out very well. But I think it is still a bit better than Phil's. So I'm going to give this one also to William Bonac. So it's 2-0 to William Bonac. Here we go, the side chest. Now this side chest, I'm sorry, there's not many in history who can beat this. I mean, look at that thickness. Look at those triceps. Look at that chest. Look at that shoulder. Look at the hamstring hanging. It's ridiculous, really. It's crazy. It's this amazing shredded hamstring just hanging there. It's really a sight to be seen. So this is a really good pose for Phil. Obviously the gut's not the best, but I'm sorry, those muscles, those just crazy. And then we go to William Bonac, very good as well. The biceps are a bit better than Phil's, but then again, the triceps and the shoulders and the chest are just not on Phil's level. They're just not as impressive, I should say. And that chest, if you compare the chest of Phil Heath with his, I'm sorry, it's lights out for Phil Heath. He's just, thickness is just crazy. And you can see here the hamstrings are not the best compared to the glutes. The glutes are very big, so kind of unproportionate. Side tricep, so I'll give that one to Phil Heath. Side tricep, Phil Heath's triceps are the craziest in the game, along with Rolly Winkler's. Probably Rolly's a tiny bit better, but absolutely crazy. Some of the best in history. You got those quads hanging really well again. Not the quads, the hamstrings hanging really well again. And that chest thickness, again, obviously the bubble gut's not loyal. This is 2017 Olympia. But look at this chest thickness. I'm sorry, but this is really unmatched. I mean, I don't know anyone in history, guys, who has had a chest this thick. Sure, you've had wider chests, Ronnie Coleman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that chest thickness, I don't know anyone who's had that. And those triceps, again, with the little striations in them as well. Really, really good pose for him, for Phil Heath. And of course, again, those hammies just hanging down there. Really impressive. Here we go to William Bonac. Again, it's kind of the same story as the side chest. It's very good, but it's not really on the level of Phil Heath. Simply the chest is not as thick, triceps not as thick and not as low in a sense. And also, I don't know, it's a bit of awkward pose. He's got a very strong waist, but a bit blocky in a sense, especially from this pose. It's like, it's not very aesthetic for him. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to Phil. So it's 2-2. Back double bicep. Now, if we can, as we can see here, those hamstrings are absolutely shredded. This was taken from Louis Marco's video, by the way. Those hamstrings are absolutely crazy. Glutes are not the best ever, but they're pretty damn good. The detail in that back is fantastic. And look at those forearms. I mean, I'm sorry, the top of the forearm, no one in history has ever had forearms on the top part of the forearm that thick. So this is a crazy back double bicep, really good. I like it. We go to William Bonac. Those glutes, I'm sorry, because it's like Phil has the hammies, but then he doesn't have as big glutes, and then it's the other way around for William Bonac. Glutes absolutely immense, like Kai Green, Ronnie Coleman style. Hamstrings not as shredded. Back detail. By the way, these are from the Arnold 2018, so you know both the latest shows they've done. Back detail not as good, still very good, but I'm going to go ahead and give that to Phil just because of those hamstrings and the back detail. Now that back lat spread by Phil, so it's 2-2 now. This back lat spread by Phil, in terms of thickness, this is the best back lat spread ever, in my opinion. In terms of thickness. Don't forget that, because if it was against Ronnie or Dorian, I think the width, especially with Ronnie with those huge shredded glutes and hamstrings, I think he would get beat. But the thickness is absolutely crazy. Shredded traps. I mean, come on. If we go to, and also the triceps of Phil hanging there. But if we go to here, William Bonac, it's very good. Again, he's got those glutes, crazy glutes. Hamstrings not as shredded, but still very good. Calves, both of them have similar calves. A back detail, very good, but it's honestly is not on Phil's level. I think no one can argue with that. The shreddedness of those traps and the cobra eyes effect of Phil is crazy. So I'm going to give that to Phil. So it's 2-2, I think. Sorry, no, it's not 2-2. It's 4-2 now to Phil Heath. This pose, the abs and thighs, is the worst pose for Phil. No one can argue about that. No one. Anyone in top 10 Olympia would probably beat Phil on this pose, despite those really good quads there. Above the quads, it just goes from bad. It just goes to bad. Basically, it's not impressive whatsoever. Nothing there. No abs really. And then if we go to William, you see both of them from the front don't have the best V-tapers. Both of them don't have the widest lats. They're not very tall. But you see William's a bit clever, I think. Obviously you've got those crazy shredded striated quads, but what he does is he realizes that he can't do that pose, that front Frank Zane kind of pose. So what he does it from the side, and it's a clever thing to do. And I think I give him this one. So it's 4-3 because it looks better. So it's 4-3. Now, the most muscular Phil Heath here. This, for me, those shoulders, those traps, those arms, that chest, those forearms, especially the top of the forearms, and also those quads, but just the top of the body, that is the best hand-to-hand most muscular in history, in my opinion. I don't think anyone's beating. Look at the size of those shoulders. I mean, Kevin Levroni's not far back, but nah, that's just crazy. William Bonac, it's very similar. I mean, it's similar in terms of the shoulders are fantastic, the arms are good, the legs are also good. I mean, both of them in these poses have crazy legs in different way. Phil's are very separated, Williams are very striated. But I'm going to give this to Phil simply because of that shoulder size and those triceps and the chest. So it's 5-3. Phil wins, and I'm not biased. I just think that's the truth. Obviously, the gut needs to go, but that's it, guys.